So I'm going to tell you something today that might surprise you concerning our tiny home. When we decided to purchase our tiny home and we had the idea of, hey, this could work for me to be able to retire. It would be less expensive. We could move it to somewhere that was a smaller town out in the country. And we had all these ideas, but we decided not to tell anybody. We didn't tell family, friends. We kept it strictly between ourselves because we were worried about opinions, and everybody knows that opinions, especially early on in a decision, can really sway your decision. And so we thought we knew a lot of people would be, oh, they want a bigger house, and here we are looking for a smaller house, and they wouldn't understand it, and they will never understand it. But it doesn't really matter because it's our decision. It was our house. It was where we wanted to live, and so at the end of the day, once we had everything done and the paperwork was signed, and we began telling people, really, it was much different reaction than we had thought it would be. So I think the big reason why we stayed quiet to begin with is because it was a life changing decision we were making. We had a lot of downsizing to do. We had the move to do. We had the house to choose. We had the land to put it where we wanted to park it. I mean, there was so many decisions that we had to make, and having everyone in our ears would have just made the process longer. So we decided to just, it's a big life decision. We'll keep it quiet. And we were, I think, worried that people might think, oh, a tiny home, how are you ever going to live in that? It's so small. And it's not really, like impossibly small. But that's not true, of course, and at the end of the day, it really didn't matter. It was we were going to live there. It didn't matter if anybody else wanted to live there. We weren't asking anyone else to do what we were doing. So, but when you're in that decision making process, it can be hard when you've got people just constantly giving you your opinion. So keeping it quiet, we just wanted the decision to develop and be between ourselves. Once it was done, then we would tell people, because sometimes if you have a dream, it's really fragile from the beginning. And opinions and ideas from others can really confuse the whole process and make it a longer process or confuse you more. And we didn't want any of that. And so keeping it quiet, we just thought, you know, we'll just we'll just keep it quiet amongst ourselves. And then when the time comes, then we can share it and shout it from the rooftops. I think for me, I tend to keep things quiet when I'm in the infancy of trying to create something anyway, or trying to make something, trying to change something. When I first wanted to retire, I didn't really express it too much in the beginning with anybody, um, but my partner and I had wanted to retire. I had wanted to leave my job, and then I was pushed out with retirement, and those videos I have up on retirement if you want to watch those. Um, and so if you wanting to downsize or start a YouTube channel or start your own business or I don't know, change careers, move, whatever it is you want to start, uh, in the beginning, when it's fragile, when it's just an idea, sometimes it's better not to share it with people unless it's somebody that you really trust, maybe your partner, maybe somebody you're going in on it with. Sometimes that's doable to share with, but sometimes it's just better to just keep it quiet, just keep it, let it build, let it grow. At least that's what I find from myself. And I think, would I do it again? Yeah, I would probably keep it quiet again. I would still wait to tell people just because it was it was new. It was something that we we were still nurturing. We were still trying to figure out, is this the right decision for us? Can we do this? And so yeah, I would still keep it quiet in the beginning. And I wasn't it wasn't like we were hiding anything so much. It was just it was new, and it was something new, and it wasn't new to us because we had been looking at it for a while, but to other people, maybe they live in a house, maybe they live in a big house, it was going to be new to them. And so we just thought, if I had to do over again, I would still hold back in the beginning. I would still do that. And I think because at the end of the day, the decision we made to go tiny was our decision alone. No one influenced us to go tiny. No one persuaded us this is what you need to do because you're a bad person if you live in a big house. No one did that. It was our decision, and I think that at the end of the day, we can live with that and feel really good about it. That no one gave us advice. We did it ourselves, and and here we are, loving every minute of it. And so I think that if you are thinking about making a big life decision, maybe you're thinking about going tiny, or you're thinking of moving, or any big life decision, the people who love you might surprise you, and the people that you have in your life could surprise you with not how you expected them to react to your decision. They might surprise you and say, "Hey, that's wonderful. That's great." I mean, that was our response for the most part. Some people will never understand going tiny, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me at all. I love living this way. We're quite happy with it. So that at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Is that you're happy with your decision, and we're very happy with the decision that we made. And if you're thinking about going tiny, um, leave any questions you have in the comments. If I know the answer, I'll help you with it. If I don't, I'll find the answer. I'll find the answer for you. And if someone doesn't understand your decision to go tiny, we have people in our well, not necessarily my family, but our friend circle, and that don't understand going tiny. And you know what? That's okay. It's kind of one of those agree to disagree. They can live in a big house and pay a bigger mortgage and pay more electricity and all of those things, and we can live more simply, and that works for us in our current phase of life. I think probably 30 years ago, I probably wouldn't want to go tiny, but in this phase of my life, it works for me. So I think what we thought originally, if we told people early on in our decision on going tiny, we would hear a lot of, "Oh, it's too small. They're too expensive for the size you're getting. Square footage is actually more expensive," which is a true, which is true. It depends on what you buy, and how much you want to spend on it. And there are all budgets and sizes that you can choose from. Of course, if you're going tiny in the US, that means under 400 square feet. So you can get the top, which is 399, which is what we got under the 400. And or you can go 200, you can go 100, you can go whatever you want to, whatever your budget allows you to do. And so when we actually started telling people about it, in my family especially, it was like, "Oh, cool, I always wanted a tiny house," or, "Oh, I've been living in a small house anyway, and so that sounds pretty cool." It was doable. It wasn't a really big deal. And even in my partner's family, it was like, once they came over and seen it, they were like, "Oh, this feels much bigger than I thought it would." They were picturing like a little tiny box, I think. And the way tiny homes are now, they're spaced out, and they make every inch of that 399 square feet matter. And so it's with purpose. And so you could have like a large room that just is just a large room that's 500 square feet, and you could think, "Oh, I could never live in that," or 400 square feet or whatever. But when it's mapped out and when everything is purposeful and purposely placed, it's livable, and it works for us. So I'll just close here. Sometimes when we make a decision, whether it be going tiny or any big decision in our life, sometimes we have in our minds how people will react to these decisions, and we've built them up in our minds, and that's the way we think people are going to react. And then we're surprised when, oh, they reacted more positively than I thought they would. And sometimes people around you will rally around whatever decision you make, because most people are mature enough to say, "Hey, that doesn't work for me, but it works for them. I'm good with it. They're happy. I'm happy they're happy, and life is good." If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you wish. Leave some comments if you're making a big decision, or if you're thinking about going tiny. That's a huge decision. And leave some comments and let's talk there. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.